Hello children, this is Anirudh, Mount Litra Z School Jhansi. Today we are going to talk about double fertilization, which is a topic, very important topic of 12th class book biology, second chapter, NCERT. In this today we are going to talk about double fertilization, and before double fertilization we must talk about the structure of pollen grain and structure of embryo sac. So in the structure of pollen grain, I have already explained about pollen grain structure. It has two cells with one nucleus. This upper cell is known as vegetative cell and lower is known as generative cell. Vegetative cell gives nutrition to the generative cell, and generative cell has one nucleus which divides itself into two nucleus after mitosis. It does mitosis, equational division. That means whatever amount of chromosome this nucleus has, after the division, two nucleus will be formed with one septa between them. That means the entire pollen grain will become three-celled, 1, 2, 3-celled, and each cell will have one nucleus. So this one nucleus, this is one nucleus, and they both have the same number of chromosomes because this process was cell division, mitosis. So now in this stage, this particular pollen grain reaches to the stigma of flower. Now, in the ovary, you have one embryo sac. One embryo sac has three cells at the top. These are known as antipodals. Three cells at the bottom. Two are known as synergids, and one middle cell is known as egg cell or female gamete. This is actually female gamete. Now, there are two more cells in the central cell. That this is the central cell. In the central cell, two nuclei are found. These are known as polar nuclei. So this is the structure of one embryo sac. Now from stigma, this pollen grain makes one pollen tube, and through style it goes towards ovary. Inside ovary there is this embryo sac. The pollen tube comes and it reaches to the embryo sac and it enters inside the embryo sac. These synergids direct the pollen tube towards the embryo sac and they ensure the entering. After entering, it has two male gametes, two nucleus. One male gamete fuses with the female cell, female egg cell. And this process of fusion of male and female gamete is known as syngamy. This is actually real fertilization. One male nucleus fuses with the egg cell of embryo sac. There is first fertilization and known as syngamy. Another male nucleus goes towards the polar nuclei. Another pollen grain's nucleus reaches to polar nuclei and it fuses with two nucleus and it makes triploid structure. This is diploid structure, syngamy, and here it makes triploid structure, 1, 2, 3 nucleus, and this is known as triple fusion. This is known as syngamy, and here when three nucleus combine, this is known as trisomy or triple fusion. Because in this process, the fertilization is taking place two times. One here with the egg cell and one nucleus of pollen grain, and here with the polar nuclei and one nucleus of pollen grain. That is why this entire process is known as double fertilization. This is very important process of plants, and most of time questions come in board examination from this particular topic. This is very important topic. After fertilization, you know that two structures are formed. One is this structure. This is known as primary endosperm. Primary endosperm nucleus. and this structure is known as zygote. You already know when male and female fuse, they form zygote. So this is making zygote and this is making primary endosperm nucleus. Primary endosperm nucleus converts after fertilization into endosperm, and zygote converts into embryo. Now one more thing, after fertilization the post fertilization events start. Pre-fertilization we have read already, gametogenesis. Fertilization event is this, fertilization, and post fertilization stage is now coming. What happens in post fertilization event? In post fertilization event, number 1, ovary changes into fruit. Ovule changes into seed, and zygote changes into embryo. Primary endosperm nucleus, which is triploid, this stage after the fusion of two polar nuclei with one male gamete, this structure converts into, that means primary endosperm nucleus converts into endosperm. And when this embryo develops into body or plant, or into, when this zygote develops into embryo, and when embryogenesis takes place, till that time this endosperm gives nutrition. So this is the entire process of double fertilization. Next we are going to start some other facts also of this chapter only, and that will be the finish of this chapter. Thank you very much.